everyone. Welcome back to the Common Guru. I'm Jax, and today we're going to take a look at the next question in our New Year, New Ways series. What criteria do you use to determine who is helpful and who is harmful? Is she being helpful or is she being harmful? Right when I start videotaping, she jumps up. I think this cat's more meant to be a star. This was a really good question for me because I know that in some cases where I thought I'd been really helpful, I have been harmful. And in some cases where I thought I'd been harmful, I have been helpful. I remember in one of my relationships, back in one of my posts when I was talking about my alcohol phobia, we fought all the time about his alcohol intake because I couldn't take it. I didn't have the ability at that time to process through that phobia, and I was just reacting to it left, right, and center. And our relationship was very rocky at times because of our arguments about his alcohol consumption. And it was really interesting because the relationship deteriorated and it ended. And we still talk today, and we're quite friendly. And I was talking to him the other day. I always say the other day, and it's usually like it could be a month or a year ago. I talked to him not too long ago. It's easier to put it that way. And we found out that he has the highest respect for me because of how much I helped him. I'm like, what? How did I help you? I don't remember helping you. He goes, no, I was on a path where I was going to become an alcoholic. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have what I have now as a happy wife and a happy life. And I went, here I thought I was being harmful when actually I was being helpful. And I've had people too where a family member where I thought I would help them try and get out of a rut, and I'm being helpful and helpful and helpful. And now they're just stuck in their rut and they're mad at me. So so much for being helpful. It turned out to be harmful because of my approach. Anyway, when I was thinking about this helpful, harmful thing, I thought about parents, and one of the best illustrations I found is with Kung Fu Panda. Have you seen that movie? I just love Jack Black in that movie. He does a fantastic job for the voice narration. Anyway, Po is this roly-poly, clumsy, food-orientated panda who's been adopted by a goose who owns a noodle house restaurant. And Po has these secret wishes and desires to be a kung fu master. Now, honestly, if the way the narrators and the way the producers made that picture, if you look at Po and that you're thinking he's going to be some kind of kung fu panda, you're like, right. But that's what he wanted to do. That's what his dream was. He just wanted to do kung fu. He just did. And his dad, trying to be helpful, decides that he's going to squish the dream because why would you have a child set themselves up for failure? And it's very interesting when you think about that, about how a parent decides to squish the dream instead of allowing it, because nothing really is impossible if you put your mind to it. Yet that's a constant way of handling things, is to do exactly that. So that's what happened in Po's case. His dad squished and squished and squished for two reasons. One, fear for the son that he's going to fall flat on his face and be hurt by not being able to do his dream. And second of all, that he doesn't want his son to leave because then he'd be all alone. So what would we think? The dad's being harmful? Well, that oppression catapulted and suppressed Po in such a way that he had to find out and had to just do what he had to do, and through a series of comedic and clumsy events, places himself right in the position where he wants to be and becomes a kung fu master. And at the end of the 3 movies, becomes the greatest kung fu master of all time, the Dragon Warrior. So was the parent being harmful or helpful? So I had the exact same situation happen in my life with my mom. Now, I was an odd duck when I was little, and I was an odd duck growing up. And my mom did exactly the same thing that Po's dad did and tried to help me navigate through that by, how do I put that? She just wanted me to be normal because she saw that I was just odd. I just didn't fit in with the family. I didn't fit in with her. My mind was really different than everybody else, and I was weird, and I was different. And that's what I remember what I heard from her all the time. Why do you have to be so different? Why do you have to be so different? Why do you have to be so different? And I know I said it 3 times, but I could go on like 12 to 15 times saying it over and over again because that's what she said to me all the time. And it hurt because all it did was make me feel like I was unaccepted, that it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't do it, I wasn't good enough, and I would never measure up. Now, like Poe, that oppression pushed me to where I made radical choices for myself because I knew that I would never measure up anyway because I was so different from my mom. So I made choices for me that were absolutely fabulous, and some of them were a little interesting, but it had me understand that I was different. So her asking me why I had to be different catapulted me in finding pleasure and success in being different, but it never dealt with the feelings that I had within myself, that I never measured up and I wasn't good enough, and no matter what I did, it didn't work. That relief only came a couple weeks ago when I was sitting there within myself and doing a process and really facing the fear of I'm not good enough. And I couldn't understand where it came from until I made realization that what my mom was trying to do. So she had a picture in her mind of who I was supposed to be. She had an idea of what normal would be that would help me navigate through the world. And she continuously compared me to that picture. Well, folks, I would never ever be that person. No matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did, I could try to be that person, but I wouldn't be happy. So I would never be the person that she thought I would be to be happy. So I would never measure up, and I never would be good enough because that wasn't me. It was never going to be me. So when I realized that in her idea of trying to help me be someone else so that it would make me be happy, I would never be happy being that person because it wasn't me. So I decided, like I did in the post where you did the successful fire and the failure fire, I decided to take that energy that I was trying to be accepted by my mom by being that person and transfer it to being accepted for who I was by being me. Because there was no way I was ever going to be the person that she wanted to be. It was not going to happen. I was never going to be normal in her estimation. I was never going to be someone that just blended in. That's not who I'm meant to be. I am meant to be this person who I am now, vibrant, different, glorious, majestic, the way I'm supposed to be, the way you're supposed to be. So if you're in a situation like I was, where you're really feeling like you're being pushed to be someone that you're not, it doesn't matter what you do. It's true. You're never going to be good enough and you're never going to measure up because that's not you. It's just not. And I have found too that when I tried to be someone that someone else wanted me to be, it never works anyway. They lose respect for you because you're compromising yourself. And it creates a very negative environment. It just doesn't work. So, was my mom being helpful or harmful? Both. She was being harmful in the fact that I incorporated thoughts about myself that I was unaccepted and I couldn't measure up. And then when I realized that that wasn't the answer, I now am accepted and I do measure up. Actually, my mom now thinks that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you know what I did to do that? I became myself. And I allowed myself to be me instead of trying to be the person that she thought I should be. It's a very interesting thing how that worked out. Thanks for joining, everyone. I hope you have a fabulous day. If you want to find out new and exciting ways to connect with the Common Guru, just check down in our description box. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe and have an amazing day.